If part 1 was about seeing the trap, part 2 is about learning how people quietly step out of it. Not overnight. Not by quitting their jobs dramatically, but by changing the rules they play by. Because here's the truth most people never hear. The salary trap doesn't break when you earn more. It breaks when your relationship with money changes. Let's start with a mindset shift that changes everything. Most people are taught one core belief: a job equals safety. From childhood, the message is consistent. Study hard. Get a degree. Find a stable job. Climb the ladder. And for a while, it works. You earn $50,000, then $70,000, then $100,000. Your lifestyle improves. Your comfort increases. But somewhere along the way, safety turns into dependency. Because real safety isn't a paycheck. It's options. And options only exist when your survival doesn't depend on your next direct deposit. This is the first mental shift. Income is not security. Cash flow control is. Now let's talk about how people actually escape. The first strategy is unglamorous. No crypto hype. No overnight success stories. It's called buying time. Before freedom, before investing, before businesses. People who escape the salary trap build one thing first: a financial buffer. 3 to 6 months of living expenses, in cash. Not invested. Not locked away. Not theoretical. If your monthly expenses are $4,000, your first target is $12,000 to $24,000. This money doesn't make you rich. It makes you dangerous to the system. Because once you have it, something subtle changes. You stop operating from fear. You negotiate better. You say no more often. You stop tolerating things that drain you. Most people never experience this psychological shift. They're always one missed paycheck away from panic. The buffer breaks that spell. The second strategy is learning to protect the gap. Remember this from part 1. Freedom lives in the space between income and expenses. Most people accidentally destroy that gap every time their income rises. Escape requires doing the opposite. When your salary increases from $80,000 to $100,000, you don't upgrade everything. You keep your expenses close to the old version of your life. Same apartment, same car, same lifestyle, and you redirect the difference. This feels uncomfortable at first, because it looks like you're not enjoying success. But what you're actually doing is buying future freedom. People who escape the trap delay lifestyle upgrades until they're optional, not required. They don't ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "Will this increase or reduce my options?" That single question changes purchasing behavior permanently. The third strategy is redirecting money toward assets, not obligations. An obligation is anything that requires your future labor to survive. Rent, car payments, consumer debt, expensive habits. An asset is anything that produces value without your constant presence. Savings that generate interest. Investments. Businesses. Skills that compound. This doesn't mean everyone needs to become an entrepreneur. It means understanding that your salary should be a tool, not the end goal. People who escape don't ask, "How do I spend this raise?" They ask, "How do I convert this income into independence?" Even setting aside $500 a month consistently, invested wisely, changes your trajectory over time. Not dramatically at first, but quietly. And that's how real wealth grows. The fourth strategy is reclaiming psychological independence. This is the hardest part. The salary trap isn't just financial. It's emotional. Your identity becomes tied to your role. Your sense of worth becomes linked to your title. Your confidence depends on external validation. Escaping means detaching your self-worth from your paycheck. You stop saying, "I am my job," and start saying, "My job is one part of my life." This shift allows you to think long-term instead of survival mode. People who escape don't panic during slow months. They don't chase every promotion. They don't confuse busyness with progress. They operate from strategy, not urgency. And finally, the most important strategy of all: building optional income streams. Not side hustles that exhaust you. Not trends that collapse overnight. But skills, systems, or investments that create income outside your primary job. Even $300 or $500 a month changes how you see the world. Because once income comes from more than one place, the job loses its psychological power over you. You stop feeling owned by it. You can leave. You can pivot. You can pause. That's real freedom. The salary trap survives on one illusion: that this is the only way to live. But once you see people operating differently, once you understand the mechanics, you realize it was never about luck. It was about awareness and patience. Escaping doesn't require quitting tomorrow. It requires thinking differently today. It requires understanding that comfort is not the same as security, that high income is not the same as wealth, and that true freedom isn't about having more, it's about needing less. The people who escape don't rebel loudly. They don't announce it. They don't post motivational quotes. They quietly build buffers, protect the gap, accumulate assets, and reclaim their time. And one day, they wake up and realize something powerful. They're no longer trapped. Not because the system changed, but because they did. If you want to keep learning how money systems actually work, how wealth is built quietly, and how to design a life that doesn't require constant paychecks to survive, subscribe to this channel. New breakdowns every week. No hype. No fantasy. Just clarity. I'll see you in part 3.